Welcome to Podcast Summaries, where every week we break down powerful ideas from 8 to 10 top podcasts to help you grow, heal, and thrive while saving time. If you find this summary helpful, please subscribe and check out links for more content. Your support keeps this journey going. Here is a rundown on this 8 habit is keeping you poor every time you get paid. Do This featuring Kevin O'Leary by Steven Bartlett. Kevin O'Leary's defining moment as an entrepreneur came when he was fired from an ice cream store on his first day. He was asked to scrape gum off the floor, but he refused, not wanting to be seen doing it by a girl he was interested in. This experience taught him that there are two kinds of people in the world: those who own the store, and those who scrape the gum off the floor. He realized that he wanted to be the one who owned the store. Kevin believes that not everyone can be an entrepreneur. He thinks that only about a third of people have the attributes necessary to be successful entrepreneurs, such as risk tolerance, focus, and a bit of luck. He believes that the rest can be successful employees, but they will never achieve greatness. Kevin learned from Steve Jobs the importance of focusing on the signal and ignoring the noise. The signal is the top 3 to 5 things that need to be done in the next 18 hours, and the noise is everything else that can distract from those tasks. Kevin believes that successful entrepreneurs have a high signal-to-noise ratio, with Steve Jobs being an example of someone who had an 80-20 ratio. Kevin also believes that entrepreneurs need to have a balance in life between discipline and chaos. He practices his guitar and photography to take his mind off the stresses of business. He also believes that entrepreneurs need to be able to distinguish between signal and noise, and that this is a key skill for success. Kevin learned the importance of listening from one of his female CEOs who told him that he talks too much and should try reversing the ratio. He has found that listening more and talking less has made him a more effective manager and investor. He uses this skill to get information that he wouldn't have gotten by talking, and it has helped him in negotiations and other business dealings. Steven Bartlett wants to know what attributes make an entrepreneur successful in securing investment. Kevin O'Leary shares that he can usually tell within the first few minutes of meeting an entrepreneur whether they'll be successful or not. He looks for an aura of confidence, which is not just about being charismatic, but also about being able to project oneself in a way that commands respect. This aura is not just about the entrepreneur's personality, but also about their ability to articulate their idea clearly and concisely. Kevin O'Leary explains that when an entrepreneur walks into a room, they need to be able to project confidence and authority. This is not just about how they dress or carry themselves, but also about how they interact with others. He looks for entrepreneurs who can maintain eye contact, speak clearly and confidently, and show a sense of passion and conviction for their idea. Kevin O'Leary also emphasizes the importance of being able to explain why you're the right person to execute on your idea. This is not just about having a good idea, but also about having the skills, experience, and network to make it happen. He wants to know what sets you apart from others and what makes you uniquely qualified to succeed in your industry. When it comes to hiring, Kevin O'Leary says that he looks for people who can execute and deliver results. He doesn't care about their background or demographics, but rather about their ability to get the job done. He has a diverse team and hires people based on merit, not just because they fit a certain mold. Kevin O'Leary also shares that he's made many investments on Shark Tank and has had his fair share of successes and failures. He emphasizes the importance of taking risks and learning from your mistakes. When asked about his experience working with Steve Jobs, Kevin O'Leary says that it was a life-changing experience. He learned a lot from Jobs about the importance of creating a community around a product or idea. He uses the analogy of a queen bee and honeybees to explain how Jobs understood the importance of creating an ecosystem around the Mac and OS. Finally, Kevin O'Leary offers some advice to entrepreneurs who are just starting out. He emphasizes the importance of taking risks and being willing to fail. He also stresses the need to create a community around your product or idea and to focus on building a strong team. He believes that with hard work, determination, and a bit of luck, anyone can succeed as an entrepreneur. Steven Bartlett wants to know if there are any other foundational principles that Kevin O'Leary thinks are conducive to success. Kevin O'Leary shares that he tells 21-year-olds to go work for 24 months in a sector they love, even if they don't pay them. This apprenticeship will give them a baseline knowledge of their industry and a higher probability of success. He also emphasizes that the first business will probably fail, but that's okay. It's all part of the learning process. Kevin O'Leary believes that respect is more important than being liked as a leader. He doesn't think being kind works, and that it's not about interpersonal relationships. He wants his team to respect him and his ability to execute, and he wants to respect their ability to do the same. He also thinks that hiring family members is a huge risk, and that nepotism is a horrible disease. When it comes to finding great people, Kevin O'Leary says that he's made the mistake of hiring them without testing them first. Now, he tests them before hiring to see if they can execute and make decisions that have consequences. He wants people who can think outside the box and come up with creative solutions. Kevin O'Leary's approach to growing wealth is to diversify and not make big bets. Kevin O'Leary follows the same strategy, investing in index funds and not putting more than 5% in any one stock or bond. He tells a story about a billionaire woman who was pissing away money and didn't even realize it. He advises people to do the same exercise, no matter how much they make. He thinks that's stupid, and that the money could be invested instead. He also owns fixed income products, crypto, and alternative assets like gold and watches. Finally, Kevin O'Leary is still bullish on crypto as an investment, but he thinks that people get it confused with its real potential. He's excited about the Genius Act, which is a bill that will regulate stablecoins and digital payment systems. He thinks that this will be a game changer for the industry. Steven Bartlett asks Kevin O'Leary about his portfolio allocation to Bitcoin and crypto, and Kevin reveals that it's currently at 19.1%. He explains that this includes not just the cryptocurrencies themselves, but also shares in infrastructure companies like Circle. Kevin emphasizes that he has to keep his allocation under 20% because it's a sector, and he's diversified across various assets. Steven then asks Kevin about his views on buying a house as a primary investment asset. Kevin shares that he believes the traditional rule of thumb is to ensure that the mortgage and maintenance costs don't exceed 1/3 of one's income. He advises that it's better to buy a smaller house and start accruing the benefits of real estate, rather than buying too much house and struggling to manage the cost. Kevin also notes that people who bought large houses during the period of low mortgage rates are now facing difficulties refinancing at higher rates, and are often finding themselves with unsustainable debt burdens. Kevin emphasizes the importance of diversification and building an investment portfolio, rather than relying solely on a house as an investment asset. He suggests that a 25-year-old with a salary of $70,000 could build a significant nest egg by investing 15% of their income in the stock market over the course of their career. Kevin also stresses the importance of discipline in wealth creation, and notes that wealthy people are often those who have the discipline to say no to unnecessary expenses and prioritize saving and investing. Steven asks Kevin about the impact of one's partner on their finances and success. Kevin responds that he believes the person you marry has a huge impact on your finances, and that it's essential to find someone who shares your financial values and discipline. He notes that marriage is a business, and that the first child you'll have is money, which will sit at the table with you every day. Kevin emphasizes the importance of making financial decisions together as a couple, and respecting each other's financial priorities. Kevin also suggests that couples should discuss their financial goals and ambitions on the third date, as a way of exploring their compatibility and financial values. Steven Bartlett asks Kevin O'Leary about how he thinks people should be thinking about artificial intelligence, given its immense potential for wealth creation. Kevin O'Leary also talks about the importance of controlling the narrative around AI, particularly when it comes to national security and defense. He uses the analogy of a beehive, where the queen bee is the one who controls the honey, to illustrate the importance of having control over the technology. He expresses his concern that if the US doesn't take control of AI, other countries, like China, will. Kevin O'Leary responds by saying that he's telling them to chill out and not worry too much about AI, as it's just a tool that will create new opportunities. The conversation turns to the topic of Apple, and whether Kevin O'Leary thinks the company is dead. Kevin O'Leary responds by saying that he doesn't think Apple is dead, and that the company's brand and ecosystem are still incredibly powerful. He notes that Apple's ability to create a seamless user experience across all its platforms is a major strength, and that the company's focus on design and user experience is still unmatched. Kevin O'Leary also talks about Steve Jobs and his approach to innovation. He notes that Jobs was a master at taking ideas from nature and redefining them in a technological context. Kevin O'Leary notes that Jobs was a complex person who was both brilliant and difficult to work with, but that his contributions to society and to Apple are still felt today. He notes that Jobs was a demanding boss who expected a lot from his team, but that he was also a genius who was able to create products that changed the world. Kevin O'Leary says that he owes a lot to Jobs and that he wishes every CEO could learn from his example. Steven Bartlett asks Kevin O'Leary if he's happy, and Kevin shares that he gets happier with age. He attributes this to being comfortable and finding his place in life. Kevin also talks about how he's learned to prioritize his time and focus on things that bring him joy. He mentions that he doesn't waste his time on things he doesn't want to do, and that's what makes him happy. Kevin O'Leary believes that happiness comes from consistently achieving one's goals. He thinks that happiness is a journey, not a destination. He also emphasizes the importance of setting goals and working towards them, whether it's short-term or long-term. Kevin shares that he's learned to trust his gut when it comes to making decisions, and that he doesn't let money dictate his choices. He believes that if his gut says no to an opportunity, no amount of money can change his mind. Kevin O'Leary advises Steven Bartlett to focus on longevity in his 30s. He suggests that Steven should start thinking about his diet, exercise, and sleep habits, as these can greatly impact his overall health and well-being. Kevin also shares that he's very focused on his own health and wellness, and that it makes him feel better about his day. Kevin O'Leary talks about the importance of being authentic and transparent in one's personal brand. Kevin shares that he's learned to say no to opportunities that don't align with his values or goals, even if they offer a lot of money. He believes that staying authentic and true to oneself is crucial for building trust with one's audience. Kevin O'Leary shares that he's learned to trust his gut when it comes to making decisions. He believes that there's an intuitive feeling that one should get when considering an opportunity, and that it's essential to listen to that feeling. Kevin shares that he's had experiences where he's turned down opportunities that sounded great, but didn't feel right, and that it's always worked out for the best. Kevin O'Leary emphasizes the importance of defining oneself and one's brand. He believes that one should be the captain of their own brand and make decisions that align with their values and goals. Kevin shares that it's hard to make these decisions, but it's essential for building a strong personal brand. He also emphasizes that money should never be the sole motivator for making decisions, and that one should always prioritize their values and goals. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. Check out YouTube channel, and just remember, subscription is only £1 or $1 per month. Leave a comment or review. Until next time, happy listening.